the things you learn from antiques. Now, you've just been talking about this, Vince. So it's early 19th century?
Yeah, 1800, 1810.
Yeah.
It's a Liverpool scene on the front there.
Yeah.
And we had somebody come in the shop a little while ago who said they recognised the scene.
Surely not. I can't get my head around that because we know Liverpool.
Yeah.
If you know Liverpool, Liverpool does not now look like that. It might have done 220 years
Yeah.
ago. What did he recognise?
Well, apparently, where this old cottage is on the side,
Right.
there's now a pub.
Oh, this is an old wives' tale.
No,
get
he
out.
was more than confident that was the case. He looked at the scene because we had it in the cabinet, and that scene was facing out.
Right.
And he looked at it and said straight away, "I recognise that. There's a pub there now."
That is brilliant.
Yeah, I know. I mean, obviously it's built up around the pub, the whole area, but he recognised the scene straight away.
I would absolutely. I'm mesmerised by that idea that someone can recognise that. It's a classic scene, isn't it? So what does it depict? It's a family at work. You've got a little typical cottage.
Yeah, very much so. It's just a very sort of traditional scene that I think was used to a degree quite a few times on various pieces. But if you turn it around the other side, you've got a completely different one.
Oh, lovely.
Which shows a family.
So it's like a family portrait then, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a curious thing. I'm assuming it was a water jug of some point.
Got to be a big water jug.
Yeah.
So
it's too big for milk.
Yeah, well, unless it was a big like Harvest Festival kind of.
Yeah,
milk
that's
thing.
possible. Yeah.
I mean, it's depicting that, isn't it? Harvest and
Yeah.
idealised family life.
Yeah. Very much so.
Now, we know it's transfer printed.
Yes.
Yeah. So, how to tell the difference between a transfer printed piece and a hand painted piece? It's not rocket science. So you would look for the joins because the transfer is literally that, just a sticker on top of a pot. Now the transfer design was invented, 1750, 60, 70?
Yeah, give or take.
So this, made in 1800, 1810, is still quite novel, isn't it?
Yes, very much so. Yeah, transfer printing was still something of a novelty, I think, at the time. But it's something that has become to be accepted now on most sort of industry standard sort of ceramics, and the blue and white's very popular. That's a prime example. There's an awful lot of it used on the blue and white.
Yeah.
People sometimes use the words transfer printed in a derogatory tone.
Yes.
Because they see it as being something that is, it's only transfer printed.
Yeah.
But actually that's not the case at all.
There's a special art to a good transfer printed thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the funny thing is, you'll agree with me, I'm sure, that when you see really poor quality transferware printed pieces, they're actually quite comical.
Yeah.
But they would, the cheaper versions, so the actual print itself overlaps in places. But a very good quality one will be sharp, and you'll have to look very closely to find the joins. And you can tell with this one, it's just a really good thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a good
very
example.
much so, yeah.
Price-wise, what's it worth?
Well, we've got a ticket of £400 on it.
I've seen them for an awful lot more.
Yeah, I mean, they go for double, if not a bit more sometimes.
And what about the market, Vince? How is it for this kind of wear now? I mean, described as super traditional.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's very traditional. It's a little bit like the Indus Valley bowl that we looked at earlier. It's very much a specialist market for collectors.
Yeah.
People will recognise it, they'll want it.
Yeah.
But it's not something that is bought by an everyday customer.
No, it's not, because we're in a very touristy area.
Yeah,
so it's not
absolutely,
really a tourist purchase, is it?
No.
450 quid as an impulse.
Yeah.
I find that interesting. It simply says industry.
Yeah.
So this is right at the beginning, really, of the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah, very much so.
That revolution, as far as revolutions go, it was a very good revolution because it changed initially Britain first, particularly the northwest of Britain, the heart of the Industrial Revolution. Changed Britain first, and then it changed the rest of the world.
Yes, Britain was affected first, but the rest of the world followed suit.
Well, they benefited from all of the crazy inventions in this part of the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there you have it.
It's very interesting to see there's a windmill on there.
Yes, I noticed that.
Almost looks, I don't know, maybe out of place.
Dutch?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
For something that's so traditionally English, to have a windmill on there that, as you say, looks a little Dutch,
Yeah.
almost sort of like detracts from the original scene.
Yes.
I
But
don't
kind of
think
adds
it
a bit of
does.
interest. We
Yeah,
will
very
have
much
had
so. Yeah, we have
windmills.
windmills, yeah.
And this is really the kind of the flipping point from traditional, almost medieval ways of living to the mass industrialisation of Britain. And this is the last snapshot of traditional life before the Industrial Revolution just absolutely blew everything out the water,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a fascinating historical piece, I think. Wowzer. Any cracks? See if it rings well now. He's a quite top tip. Give them a bit of a tap. If they sound thuddy, then they've got big cracks in. This one doesn't. I'm going to bring it a bit closer.
Rings gently.
Wait for that. There's a very noisy road out there.
It is, yes, busy.
Rings like
beautifully, yeah.
a bell. Vince, it's a beauty. Thanks for showing me.
Not a problem, David. Thank you.